Hello friends, today I just wanted to take you guys along with me while I plan out June in my bullet journal. So getting started, going to open up. I've been using this journal for a while now. So you will notice that I do have some pencil marks already. That was just to kind of get my ideas down, decide what I wanted to do. Still takes me a while to figure out spreads, and I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long. So starting with this Derwent line maker and a circle drawing stencil, I'm gonna make the line there. With my Tombow Fudenosuke, I'm going to letter the month. I really like those pins. And in this part here, I went ahead and made a small calendar, because I do like to have a full calendar view each month just for a quick glance to see kind of what day falls on which day of the week and stuff. And to be entirely honest with you, I kind of wish I wouldn't have put it there. There's so much white space above June and no white space below. So just keep that in mind if you decide you want to try this out. Let's see, and here I just really wanted the month of June to kind of resemble the summertime. So we're going to be getting a lot more sunshine. Everything's a lot warmer outside, so I kind of wanted to draw the sun. And I just made this sort of little like line and circle design to kind of give some accents, but I'm gonna come back later and color everything in. I just want to go and get all of the line work down first. And I am using the marker tip side of the black Tombow dual brush pen, as you'll see here. So here is my sort of month at a glance, and I've been using this Copic fine liner lately. I really like it. Doesn't smudge. Actually can go in and erase pencil marks immediately after going over them, and it doesn't create any kind of smearing or anything, so that's really nice. But yes, I always do my month at a glance kind of like this, just with the days down the side as per usual. And my to-do list is never very long or intense, so I always just put it kind of off to the side here in the corner. And most of it is actually just all of the cleaning stuff I'd like to get done this month, and a few other small tasks as well. And as of filming this, I only had one thing down on the schedule, so I wrote that in as well. And then I'm going to move up to the header, in which I just did this sort of simple bubble letter style for the word schedule, and the sort of starburst backdrop behind it. I felt like this would be a really good way to sort of replicate the sun shining behind. And I'm going to just go ahead and color that in with the brush pen side of the Tombow. Just makes it a little bit easier than the marker side. You can get nice even lines and such. And this last E kind of came in a little funky, so I did try to fix it, but it happens sometimes. So this page here is actually going to, I guess, be all of my trackers. I do have a few habits I'm trying to incorporate into my daily life, and I also like to do a sort of like self-care type of symptom tracker, and that's where it'll essentially turn into a line graph of these 4 main things I kind of try to keep an eye on, just to see how they correlate to one another each month. And so the right side of this spread is my time tracker, and that's, I just have an app that I actually use to keep track of it on a day-to-day basis for different tasks that I do throughout the day, and I'll go back in occasionally and fill out that graph. It's color coded, and it just lets me know if I'm working productively and efficiently. Basically, if I'm spending too much time on busy work, if I'm getting done the things I actually need to, you know, helping me make sure I'm staying on my priorities. And for the colors that I use on this, I just have various Tombows, which you'll see here. The different ones. The app that I use in my phone is called A Time Logger. It's a free app. You can set up the different things you want to track, and you basically just go in, click them, it starts tracking it, and whenever you're done working on that task or item or whatever it is you've chosen to track, it'll stop it, and then you can look at graphs of your day and how you spent your time. And there's several different icons you can choose from and colors you can set up. So I did my best to choose colors that I also had in my dual brush pens, so that way every time I see, you know, this dark gray, I know it represents time that I was asleep. And same as with this sort of coral color, represents every time I'm doing anything that I would consider studying. And that actually is just referring to anytime I'm learning something new or figuring out how something works. You know, just anything that's kind of going to enhance my sort of, I guess, like intelligence, if you will. And so as you can see, I have a few different items I do try to keep track of that are important to me. And then I'll usually just pick 4 of those colors at random and use those as well on my symptom tracker. So this spread here, I actually have been trying to get better at drawing. Not as to say that I guess I'm not good or something, it's just I've not had a lot of practice with it, so I want to try and incorporate some kind of daily practice. So these are all just boxes. There's 30 of them, so one for every day of June, and I'm going to try to draw something every single day to help me kind of figure out, for one, my overall art style, and for 2, how to kind of figure out proportions and things like that. So I just figured I'd give it a try. I know there's lots of drawing challenges people follow and stuff in their journals, so I figured it'd be similar to that. And on the right side here, you can see there's a collage. I actually filmed that part out of order, so that's why it was already done. But I just didn't really know what to do with this page. Sometimes I just do some kind of like simple quote page. Sometimes, I don't know, I try to draw something, but I was kind of at a loss. And so like later on the same day, I kind of decided I wanted to go with a collage. So I pulled out just some of my scrap papers and I printed off a couple images as well as the quote. Got some of my die cuts out and just kind of made this little arrangement. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. All the colors are super cute, and I do want to kind of get into more of these collage, like scrapbook style pieces. It's something I've been really interested in for most of my life. I just have a hard time finding the time to do it, and I don't always have, I guess, like things to scrapbook, if you will, like memories, or I don't know. I'm really bad at remembering to like take pictures and stuff if we go places, so usually if I end up trying to scrapbook something, I'm really just gonna put down a bunch of things that reminded me of where we went or what we did, and then write about it. But it's something I'm just trying to spend more time on doing. It's a really nice creative outlet, and for someone who loves paper as much as I do, it's just really fun, really good way to be creative. But this is what I essentially came up with. This quote, I actually just found it on Pinterest and printed it off. Says, if it costs you your peace, then it's too expensive. That's just more for my anxiety's sake lately. As we're all aware of everything that's been going on with the coronavirus and our daily lives just not being what they used to be. I've been dealing with an immense amount of anxiety about this, and I've just been trying to give myself daily reminders, essentially to not stress about things that I have no control over. So, and this double-sided tape I'm using, I actually picked up at Joann's. I have a thicker one and a thinner one. It's really nice, really easy to use. I found it in like their dollar bins, but I will say I haven't been able to find it in the last several times I've gone, so I don't know if it was just like a temporary item. And the last thing that I'm doing here is just taking one of my fine liners and just kind of going through and adding some little details here and there. Just wanted to kind of add some little bits of line work. And that pretty much does it for this spread. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Like I said, super cute. You should definitely try it out if you've never done any kind of collage work in your journal. And then here is the last set of spreads I'm going to do for this video anyways. This is going to be my actual planning spread. So normally I try to do it either just as I go, write out the days, or here lately I've been doing a lot of like full week layouts. And I just really like to experiment, trying different things. So I'm going to do this full day to a page here. And this little top box that's on the top right of the pages, I think I'm going to put some kind of quote or sort of like daily inspiration in. And then of course on the left here I have my schedule. So I'm just going to kind of write out, you know, the things that I need to do and what time I'd like to do them in. And my to-do list will be in the larger right box there. And it's honestly probably way too big for a daily to-do list, but I was just kind of trying to keep the proportions similar here as far as how far down they went. And then on the bottom of the pages, I'm thinking about doing probably like a journaling entry. I really want to incorporate gratitude into that, similar to like the one line a day as well, where I just kind of maybe talk about what I did that day, what happened, how I felt, just something of that nature. But here, like I said, I was going to come back in and start coloring everything in. So I did off camera just go through and erase all of my pencil marks from all of the spreads. And now I'm just using my brush pens to color in everywhere that I wanted it to be orange and yellow. And I'm really happy with how this turned out at first going through it, because if you've ever used Tombows, you know they have a tendency to bleed together. So the black marks were kind of bleeding into the orange and the yellow a little bit, so I was trying to be careful and avoid them. But I'm actually really happy with how this turned out, with all of the brush strokes sort of going in one direction. It really makes me think of like the rays of sun just shining out. The only thing I will say is where I colored into those little circles, it looks a little muddy, but could be worse, I guess. And in this starburst border background, I decided to go with the yellow. And you'll probably notice I didn't get all the way up to the letters, but that's because I did color these letters in with the black Tombow, and it would have just caused a big old mess. So I think it came out pretty nicely. And this one, since it was kind of all the way across, I just wanted it to be nice and simple. Same with this one. And I did the starbursts around the days just the same, but since I had actually used a different marker to write these, I was able to color the whole thing in fully. So that's something to definitely keep in mind when you want to color stuff in. But yeah, guys, so thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate the support. Here is a final flip through of each of the spreads. I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. Try to keep you updated on my Instagram as I go through and fill out some of these spreads. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. Bye, guys.